What if dragons weren't just myths? What if they walked among our ancestors, ruled the skies, and vanished in an extinction event we're only beginning to understand? Throughout human history, every civilization on Earth has told stories of dragons. From the fire-breathing beasts of medieval Europe to the wise serpents of ancient China, these creatures appear in our oldest texts, our cave paintings, and our collective memory. But here's what scientists are now discovering. Ancient people around the world were finding something real. In the Siwalik Hills below the Himalayas, massive bones were scattered across the landscape. Ancient Indians discovered these enormous skeletons and called them the remains of dragons. In China, dragon bones were so common they were ground up and sold as medicine for thousands of years. What we now know is shocking. These weren't myths at all. They were the fossilized remains of creatures that actually existed, creatures so massive and terrifying they could only be explained as dragons. In Greece, ancient peoples discovered the skulls of prehistoric dwarf elephants. The single large opening in the center, where the trunk once attached, looked exactly like the eye socket of a one-eyed giant. The Cyclops legends were born from these discoveries. But dragons were different, more complex, more specific in their descriptions across cultures. In Mongolia, ancient nomads discovered something extraordinary in the Gobi Desert. Protoceratops fossils, complete with beaked skulls and 4 legs, littered the sandstone cliffs. These dinosaurs had been buried so recently in geological terms that their bones remained near the surface. Ancient peoples saw these beaked, 4-legged creatures and created the griffin legends that spread across Asia and into Greece. In 2003, paleontologists in China made a discovery that changed everything. They found the complete skeleton of Dinocephalosaurus orientalis, a creature so perfectly matching dragon descriptions it sent shockwaves through the scientific community. This marine reptile lived 240 million years ago during the Triassic period. It stretched nearly 17 feet long with a neck containing 32 separate vertebrae. Its serpentine body, long neck, and flippered limbs matched ancient Chinese dragon depictions with uncanny accuracy. Scientists found preserved fish in its stomach, proving it hunted in shallow waters, just like dragons in ancient texts. But if these creatures inspired dragon legends, when did they disappear? The answer lies in understanding multiple extinction events that shaped our planet. The Triassic-Jurassic extinction event 201 million years ago wiped out 76% of all species. Marine reptiles like Dinocephalosaurus vanished during this cataclysm. But here's where the evidence becomes fascinating. Not all dragon-like creatures disappeared at once. Pterosaurs, the flying reptiles with wingspans up to 33 feet, dominated the skies until 66 million years ago. These creatures perfectly matched descriptions of flying dragons in European legends. They had elongated necks, leathery wings, and some species possessed crests that could be mistaken for horns. Plesiosaurus, with its impossibly long neck and marine lifestyle, survived in Earth's oceans for over 100 million years. Ancient sailors who discovered their fossils on beaches would have seen perfect evidence of sea serpents. These creatures didn't vanish gradually. They were eliminated in one of Earth's most catastrophic events. 66 million years ago, an asteroid 6 miles wide slammed into what is now Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. The impact released energy equivalent to 10 billion atomic bombs. Wildfires swept across continents as superheated debris rained from the sky. A dust cloud blocked the sun for years, causing global temperatures to plummet. 75% of all species went extinct, including every non-avian dinosaur and pterosaur. The dragons of the sky vanished forever, but some dragon-like creatures managed to survive this catastrophe. Crocodilians, the ancient relatives of dinosaurs, lived through the extinction by sheltering in rivers and lakes. These armored reptiles, some growing over 40 feet long, became the basis for dragon legends in Africa, Asia, and Australia. Ancient peoples encountering Nile crocodiles or saltwater crocodiles saw living dragons. In the 14th century, a crocodile skull was displayed in Rhodes, Greece, after a knight claimed to have slain a dragon. Recent analysis proved it was indeed a Nile crocodile, but to medieval people, it was absolute proof that dragons existed. The Komodo dragon, discovered on Indonesian islands in 1912, reignited dragon fever, This 10-foot-long lizard possessed venomous saliva, could take down prey much larger than itself, and lived on remote islands rarely visited by outsiders. Local Indonesian legends had spoken of land crocodiles and giant lizards for centuries before Western science confirmed their existence. What if other dragon species survived in isolated regions longer than we think? In China's Guizhou province, farmers have been finding dragon bones for over 2,000 years. These weren't just any fossils. They were massive sauropod dinosaurs with necks stretching over 30 feet long. Ancient Chinese scholars documented these discoveries, describing them as proof of dragons. But here's what modern science reveals. Some of these fossils were geologically recent by paleontological standards. While most dinosaurs died 66 million years ago, regional populations in isolated areas might have survived longer. New Zealand's moa birds, massive flightless creatures standing 12 feet tall, survived until just 600 years ago. The coelacanth, a fish thought extinct for 65 million years, was discovered alive in 1938. These living fossils prove that creatures can survive in hidden pockets long after science declares them extinct. Could dragon-like reptiles have survived in remote caves, deep lakes, or unexplored jungles? The Loch Ness Monster sightings describe a creature remarkably similar to a plesiosaur. While mainstream science dismisses these reports, thousands of eyewitness accounts span over 1,500 years. In the Congo Basin, native tribes describe Mokelembembe, a long-necked creature living in remote swamps. Expeditions in 1980 sought this creature based on descriptions matching sauropod dinosaurs. The extinction theory for dragons involves multiple cascading events across millions of years. First, the Triassic-Jurassic extinction eliminated early marine reptiles like Dinocephalosaurus. Then the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction wiped out pterosaurs, plesiosaurs, and most large reptiles. Finally, human expansion and climate change in the last 10,000 years may have eliminated any remaining dragon-like species. The Pleistocene megafauna extinction, which occurred between 50,000 and 10,000 years ago, destroyed 65% of large animal species worldwide. If any dragon descendants survived the dinosaur extinction, they would have faced human hunters armed with increasingly sophisticated weapons. Cave paintings from around the world show humans hunting massive reptilian creatures. In Australia, Aboriginal rock art depicts the rainbow serpent, a massive creature that matches descriptions of prehistoric reptiles. These paintings date back over 40,000 years, suggesting humans and large reptiles may have coexisted. The final blow to dragon populations would have been habitat destruction. As humans spread across every continent, we cleared forests, drained swamps, and hunted any creature large enough to threaten our livestock. By the medieval period, any remaining dragon-like creatures would have been pushed into the most remote regions. The last authenticated giant reptile sightings in Europe occurred in the 1500s. After that, dragons vanished from reality and remained only in our stories. But the evidence of their existence surrounds us. Every fossilized bone, every ancient text, every cultural legend points to a time when dragons walked the earth. They weren't magical creatures breathing fire. They were flesh and blood animals that dominated their environments. They were apex predators with specialized hunting techniques, complex behaviors, and millions of years of evolutionary success. Their extinction wasn't a single event, but a series of catastrophes spanning hundreds of millions of years. Climate change, asteroid impacts, volcanic eruptions, and finally human expansion erased them from existence. Today, their descendants survive only in diminished forms. Crocodiles, monitor lizards, and sea turtles carry the genetic legacy of the age of dragons. Birds, the direct descendants of theropod dinosaurs, are literally living dinosaurs. Every time you see a hawk soaring overhead, you're watching the last fragment of the Dragon Age. The evidence is overwhelming. Dragons were real. They lived, they thrived, and they ruled this planet for far longer than humans have existed. Their extinction wasn't myth or legend. It was the inevitable result of planetary catastrophes and human expansion. We didn't slay the dragons with swords and courage. We found their bones and built legends around creatures that had already been gone for millions of years. The greatest mystery isn't whether dragons existed. It's whether any survived long enough for our ancestors to see them alive. If you found this exploration fascinating, hit that like button and subscribe for more investigations into the creatures that shaped our world. The truth about our planet's history is more incredible than any fantasy.